Hello budding biologist and welcome back. In this clip we're going to be exploring macroscopic gas exchange structures. We're going to be comparing mammals' lungs with the gills of fish and trachea of insects. So let's kick it off with the lungs. So you'd be familiar with mammalian lungs. The respiratory system include the lungs, which connects to our trachea. We've got our bronchus and our bronchioles and our alveoli and the diaphragm. So as you recall, air enters through the mouth and nose to the lungs via the trachea, so that piping. The trachea then branches into two bronchi, one for each lung, and the bronchi branch into bronchioles that connect to the alveoli ducts, which connect to those alveoli. As you can recall from our previous clip, alveoli are the microscopic structures for gas exchange, and they're coated in capillaries. So for the respiratory system to work, the diaphragm contracts, it pulls down, creating that negative pressure, allowing oxygenated air to come down into the lungs. Gas exchange happens at an alveoli level, where oxygen moves across the concentration gradient into the blood, carbon dioxide moves into the alveoli, and carbon dioxide is breathed out. The capillaries of the lungs connect to the pulmonary vein, so the blood that's coming to the lungs with carbon dioxide goes through the pulmonary vein, and the pulmonary artery connects those capillaries to the heart, allowing the blood to then be pumped around the body. Let's compare that to the gills of a fish. So fish extract oxygen from water and excrete carbon dioxide, but it's a fundamentally different type of oxygen because it's actually dissolved in the water. So water flows through the mouth of a fish and out through that gill slit when it passes through the organ called the gills. We've got a picture over here of them. So we've got a gill arch which connects to gill filaments. Each gill filament is made up of primary lamellae that branch into secondary lamellae, so that's smaller structure. These structures increase surface area, maximizing the diffusion of oxygen into the bloodstream and the excretion of carbon dioxide. Now let's have a look at insects. Insects have an open respiratory system, so fundamentally different to that of fish and mammals, where it connects to a circulatory system. Their gas exchange actually occurs directly to cells and tissues within the organism, and this links to the open circulatory system, which we're going to come back in the inquiry question 3. So gas enters the insect through the spiracles, which are labelled in this diagram here, or you could see them over in the other picture here. Air passes into the spiracles through the trachea that branches into tracheoles, so that smaller structure. These branches branch smaller and smaller, and they actually penetrate the cells. Oxygen and water diffuse into the tissues, and carbon dioxide is able to actually be diffused out through this system. So, from this clip, you should be able to understand the fundamental differences between the macroscopic structures of gas exchange between fish, mammals, and insects. See you next time, budding biologists.